Hey guys, it's Progress. Just regular Progress today. No AKAs. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about this new Shane Dawson series that's come out, because even though there are only 2 episodes released out of the 8 that are supposed to come out in total, there's already a huge controversy going on. In this video, I just kind of want to take you guys through my own personal issues that I've seen with the Shane Dawson series, as well as a few things that other people have said to me while looking at the series. To be nice first, I want to make sure I get some things out of the way so you guys know that I don't completely hate this series or anything. I will say it's actually a decently enough entertaining series to the point where there's enough content that edges you on to be like, oh, what's gonna be next there? I'd say personally, I think episode 1 was the better of the 2 episodes, but episode 2 wasn't that bad really, okay? Einhaber did a pretty solid job, I'd actually say, with the little timeline that he laid out, and he was able to answer almost all of Shane's questions pretty easily, so I'd say that portion at least was a good part for that first episode. I will definitely have to be like, god damn, for Shane Dawson to have the amount of hype he did behind this series, that was insane. The controversy of, oh, what is the video gonna be about if he's defending him, or this or that, it was crazy. There's so many people who are interested in this series, and when was the last time you said, oh, I can't wait for a video on Jake Paul to come out? Like, almost no one does that, but with this series specifically, so many people were so excited. Now, it's time for me to kind of get into where I think the series kind of fell a little short. First, I'll start off with saying why I've been using the word series and not the word documentary. Mainly, it's because this in no way, shape, or form is a documentary. Nothing about this is professionally done enough, sadly, to be considered what a documentary actually is. Documentaries are supposed to focus on the person or thing in question and definitely not have the personal input from the person creating the documentary as much as Shane has been doing in this series. There is way too much focus on what Shane personally thinks about the subject at hand rather than actually dealing with the situation.
I'm nervous. I've never talked to him. I mean, I've texted him and tweeted him, but I've never heard his real voice. I just got the chills. That was crazy, right? I literally don't know anything, right? I'm 30. Cut to this, sorry. This was my piñata for my 30th birthday. So clearly I'm, too mature to be watching Jake fucking Paul. What do you think? I mean, you're new into the YouTube world. Do you think to be a YouTuber, you have to have, something off?
I think 90% of people are at least a narcissist.
Even if you look at the definition of documentary on Google, all of those definitions will have instances of saying that it needs to be based on factual records or reports, or that it needs to provide factual records or reports, which this doesn't really do either. Yeah, it shows clips of things that Jake has done, but not in context. And what I mean by that is saying that this is really revolving around how Shane feels rather than what's actually going on. As I've been editing this video, the 3rd one did end up actually coming out, so I do know for a fact that there still is not any interviews with people that Jake Paul know, so the first 3 episodes still don't even count as documentary as of this point. Maybe the next one will, but yeah, as of now, there isn't any documentary elements that have been added to the series. Asking the question if Jake Paul is a sociopath,
I want to talk to a psychologist and see if he is a sociopath, because that word was all over my timeline.
Before you've gone through months of therapy and testing to see, oh, if he actually does have traits of being a sociopath and if it could be diagnosed that way, it clearly shows that this is more about entertainment than factual information. So, no, this isn't really a documentary. Also, something that was brought up by myself and a few of my friends while talking about this is that so many of the things that Shane did felt over the top and a bit uncomfortable, honestly. When watching these, you feel as if Shane is trying to push as if things mean more than they really do. There was so many times where Shane did the classic, oh my god. It's the thing that he does in almost every series at this point, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if it's not for entertainment value, but my personal issue with it was that if you're gonna have that reaction to hearing the price of a thousands of dollars handbag from Jeffree Star...
Me, Beyonce, and Rihanna have it. Hi. So this is like a lot of limited edition stuff. It's all gonna be in the vault soon, but it's... You can hold her.
How much was this?
That is 125,000. Collectibles. And
But if you're literally just listening to a woman list off the reasons for somebody possibly being a sociopath, they're just reading a book, then it feels a little weird. A place where the editing, to me at least, felt a little out of place was stuff like the ads at the beginning of his videos, like when he's talking about Honey.
So if you don't know already, Honey is a free shopping tool that automatically searches the internet looking for promo codes every time.
He makes it kind of seem like as if everything you're clicking on is like a mistake because of all the boom and the like it's really creepy. So it's like as soon as you're done ordering and getting all these things using the fucking Honey extension, it's gonna end up just like your phone's gonna ring and it's gonna be like, hello?
You got 7 days to leave.
The one where I felt a little bit more uneasy was for the BetterHelp ad, purely because it's supposed to be for like psychological like counseling. I know that it's supposed to be like the vibe of the series is mental health and all these things like that, but to make it feel creepy, especially when you're trying to promote a company that's really doing good things, it just feels weird to me. There were also just tons of things where the editing was used to make things that weren't really important feel more important.
find out if we're all psychopaths.
Oh. I mean, this picture, that looks like two fucking straight up sociopaths planning their next move. Oh, the caption. Let's go.
It's kind of like as if Shane doesn't fully, he's still trying to find his place here, because there were certain moments where I was kind of like, okay, but why was that necessary to put in there? Most people would just be like, hey, this is something that I said in the video that now looking back doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, snip, cut that shit out. But no, with Shane, he just kind of leaves it in and hopes that the editing makes it seem a little bit better. Like the part where he's talking about the let's go or whatever, the boxing gloves emoji thing when he showed Jake Paul. It's like, well, they're going to be fighting, so they're not murderers or think that they're top shit. They're just fighting. Now, the thing I'd say probably myself I didn't like the most in this whole series so far was the fact that I feel as if Shane is really losing touch with who this series is supposed to be about, because he continuously goes back and references Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
I've been afraid of Logan this whole time.
And that's a fact! That's truth, guys. That's how life works.
I didn't want to go into this like trying to expose Logan or talk about Logan. It was about Jake. But then the more I fell down the holes and the more I realized and researched and the more I learned about sociopaths.
And he even brings the same question to Logan, saying, what if Logan's the sociopath? So your series is called The Mind of Jake Paul. Either stay on subject or don't allude to the fact that we're going to be learning about Jake more than Logan, when I actually personally feel as if more points in my mind were brought up about Logan, about being, wait, that makes sense, maybe Logan's the manipulative one. I feel as if the choice to call it, you know, The Mind of Jake Paul is a little misleading. But yeah, because that's the thing, is it almost seems as if in other parts that Shane kind of alludes to the fact that this might be focusing on the entire family. Not even just Jake or Logan, might be the whole family. So wouldn't it just be like a better thing to be like called The Mind of the Pauls? I think that would have been way better. People would have been way more excited for that. With all that said and done, I personally do feel as if so far this first and second episode should have just been one episode. Almost everything that's been stated so far was prior known information that he had to get from iNabber, and all the things that were listed off could have been just put into bullet points. We didn't need to go in depth because all of these things, like I said, are available. If people wanted to know more about those other things, they could easily find out about those things. So it should have just been put in bullet form what the actual things were that they were going to be discussing about, and then the second half of the episode should have been him going to the psychologist. All he did was learn the definition of sociopath and tell her that he was gonna go and see Jake Paul. That was 42 minutes of just learning a definition. That, to me, is so much unnecessary time. He could have easily blazed through it, cut out a shit ton of information that didn't matter, or just put it in bullet form of her quickly saying, yeah, this, that, this, and that. I know it's supposed to be entertaining, but it feels like a little bit of a waste of time, honestly, when you're sitting through that much. The first 2 episodes definitely could have been condensed. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion on this thing. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm not saying Shane should change anything at all. I'm just saying what I personally feel could have been better so far. There's so much more to the series to go on. I might make another video on this if you guys are like, hey, yeah, I kind of like that. Obviously, it probably wouldn't be every 2 episodes because he's releasing these quite frequently. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.
I'm on my newest shit better by day. You keep on slowing, so get out my way. I cannot hear you, definitely stay. People that better, you know every way. Hey, you know every way. Better I tackle this now that I know it's my goal. I've been seeing the sold and they selling the woes. I'm on the road, I've been improving, just moving. I need to be freed on the